Hello and welcome to the Recalibration event slash masterclass slash transmission activation recalibration. I'm so grateful you're here. The fact that you registered for this already tells me a little bit about the kind of person you are, which really excites me because this event is more of creation from that which has been spilling from my heart. And I'm really honored that you decided to be here, whether you're live or on the replay. And yeah, I'm just really excited to share this message with you. And because this is really something that's coming from so deeply within my heart, it means a lot to me when you share and interact as well. So if you're watching live, you can obviously use the comment box. If you're on the replay, you can use the comment section, or you can also send me a DM. Let me know what came up for you while you're watching this, and take note for yourself. Even if you don't take note for me, take note for yourself what comes up for you. What kind of resistance do you feel? Because I'm kind of moving into the band of resistance within this conversation, truly because I feel like there's an uncomfortable space that we're not really talking about, but a lot of us are feeling, that is going to give way to so much more abundance, love, connection, opportunity, and success in our lives. So please pay attention to what comes up for you. Pay attention to what resonates. Pay attention to what ideas you get. Pay attention to all those different things. And I am just going to share a little bit of an introduction of myself for those of you who are newer to my world. And then I'll dive into just sharing a little bit about the structure slash my intention. We'll see where it actually goes, but my intention for the structure. And then, and then I'll be sharing. I'm going to be also taking you through a little bit of a meditative healing slash visualization, and giving you tons of prompts as well throughout. So that's that. And if you're new to me, my name is Viola Hug, and I have created over a $500,000 brand in the past few years. And I did it in a way that was really untraditional. I was traveling full time for half of it. I had 2 children in the midst of it. I was doing it following and kind of just really with this intuitive nudge to just experiment with this business. Turns out it was highly successful in the traditional sense, but I really went into it with like a very much of a play and a very much of an experimentative attitude. Like I'd been trying prior to that for over 5 years to build a successful business of sorts. Like I tried different things. I was following different ideas and all these different things, but it never was successful for me. And it was also from a very old paradigm perspective of success. It was hustle based. It was like, do what people who were successful 50 years ago did. It was very not in alignment with my vision of success, which is a success that includes more than just our material success. It's a true success. And so when I started this business, I'd learned about human design a couple of years, and I learned about Gene Keys. So I was always like following kind of my energetic map. I was only doing the things that felt good for me, right? This was my intention in starting. And through that, I had a lot of awakenings. Like I had a spiritual awakening a spiritual and abundance awakenings just as I started this business and before I started this business. And then throughout it, I also had the sexual awakening of like really understanding the embodied pleasure of everything that we're creating. And and so nowadays my life is filled with I've kind of brought myself back to that point because I built this incredible brand and this incredible business, and it's been so much fun. And I realized that even though I had these like really incredible intentions at the start, I kind of was being called back to a more grounded and internally validated version of success. if I did this masterclass the first day of my business, I would have said similar things about how in my journey, I kind of got to this point where I was like looking for external validation. And when I went internal is when things started to shift for me. And I'm almost saying the same thing again. It's just at a different level. Because when I entered the spiritual, energetic world of business, I really felt like I'd found home and I'd found people who'd had the same beliefs as me. And then at this point, even though I'm still totally in love with all of the concepts, I realized that there's actually still so much conditioning in the world around us. And it's been so interesting for me because for probably the last year and a half, conversations with clients, with friends, with all these different people in my life have been around how there's like kind of something that's not resonating, but they can't put their finger on it. Something's shifting, but they can't put their finger in it. And then not to mention like astrologically, we're being like fucked, like in terms of just like bringing up old shit, healing that, doing it differently. Like there's just like a whole universal energy that's contributing, I feel, to this, but there's really a collective energy. And as I started to speak out about the things that I've noticed as I went completely on the roof, right? I'm a line 6 in human design and in my second phase of on the roof. And I took 4 months off my business for maternity leave just recently. And but I'd say for probably the past year, ever since I got pregnant, I got super, super sick. I get sick of my pregnancies. I have like this thing that makes me throw up every day. It's fun. And so from the start of my pregnancy, I was not as involved in my business as I maybe would have liked to be. But in hindsight, I see how perfect it is because it's helped me come to these like really beautiful realizations. And I started to see how there were a lot of aspects of my journey where I kind of was being called back to practice the fundamental concepts that I really do know and believe in more and at a deeper level. And then now that I'm back at work, it's just like blowing my mind at how these shifts have really, like how me speaking out about the shifts that I've seen is impacting the people around me, from people who resonate and are like, finally somebody's talking about this, from people who've joined me as a client or in my mastermind or wherever, being like, oh my gosh, like this and this and this shift's happening and this and this and this is the result of it. And I guess because I've always cared so deeply about the work that I do and about people and about myself. Like I'm a Libra sun, Libra moon, Cancer rising. Like I have a lot of emotional lovey-dovey shit going on in my chart. I'm also a Libra Mercury, and I'm a manifestor in human design, a 4/6 manifestor with splenic authority. Hope motivation for those of you who understand that aspect of human design. And so I have this very visionary, this very like tapped in, this very loving, this very also punchy and thought-provoking energy about me. And my wish for everyone is that we experience success in a way where we truly, like, not just like, I love my life because I have all these cool things to show for it. Like I feel so at peace in my soul. I feel successful in my soul. I feel satisfied. I feel delighted by life. Like I just feel within, and success is coming from that inner compass versus these external things. So the concept of this recalibration came because I started to notice how even though we say that it's about service and it's about doing what we're passionate about and it's about all of these things that we probably are convincing ourselves we are doing, there's parts of ourselves that are actually adhering to the way things have been done or the way other people have done things to be successful. And the example that I spoke about the other day, I just did like a short little post on my Facebook, but I said, like, do you actually want to be a business coach, or is it just because that's what everyone else who's making money is doing? Because it's kind of what happened to me, because I started off doing, whatever. I was doing like energetic vision alignment stuff. And then I ended up business coaching and teaching sales and teaching social media. And it's not that I didn't love these things, because I was teaching them from a perspective of like how to do it with your human design and not be burnt out and not be a slave to the algorithm and all these things. So I was doing it in a unique way, but I was noticing that it's like, that's not what's fulfilling my soul. Like what fulfills my soul is when I hear back from a client 2 years later and they're telling me how the work that we did on them understanding themselves, trusting themselves, tapping into their power, on their relationship, on these things that like actually are the little things that make up their day-to-day life, continues to impact them in positive ways years down the track. Like when people are shifting internally and about how they feel about themselves and how they're able to interact in the world is what excites me, right? And we can use that power and be really great at sales and be really great at making money and whatever else as well. But it's almost like it turned a little bit backwards for me. And I hear so many people, they come into my world and they're like, well, I'm passionate about this, this, and this, and this. And here's how, like, I'm trying to be a business coach, or here's what I'm attempting to do, or here's what I'm aiming to do. And I'm like, you know, sometimes it feels like there's a disconnect. So I'm calling people back into this questioning. And I also really want everyone to understand here that the whole point of this event is for me to start a conversation about it, but I want you to continue to talk about it, whether it be with me, yourself, or the people in your world. And I really do see everyone here as like an equal. Like I'm not coming here because I'm like, I'm so smart and I have these things to share. Like there's a sense of leadership in how I'm starting this conversation, but everyone, like I just see you as equals here. It's an equal playing field. And this is also my definition of success. I do not like the feeling of hierarchy. If you want to know more about my perspectives of that, I recorded a couple podcast episodes, some of my most recent ones, where I talked about money, hierarchy, the concept of always needing more. And I think my most 3 recent episodes, Spirit, Sex, Money is my podcast. If you're not already listening to it, you can subscribe to that and enjoy. But my first question for you after this spiel is, what is success to you really? Like, where do you draw the line of like, I'm successful? This is success. You can feel free to share in the comments, or you can journal it, or you can think about it, you can message me, whatever. What is your definition of success? When will you feel successful? What's interesting is that I think we innately all strive for success in some ways. Everyone has their own definition of what success is. But I want you to look at what first came to mind for you around this idea of success. And I want you to ask yourself how much of that is truly your definition, or is this a definition you've picked up along the way? As humans, we are highly conditioned beings, energetically, mindset, to the way you cut your bread, to the way you cook rice, to the way you put on your clothes. You know, recently, not too recently, I can't remember, there's a show that came out. I can't remember what it was called. Like, it was like they had like 100 people and they did all these experiments or whatever. And it was, great time to be joining us live. I'm just about to talk about going to the bathroom. So anyway, hi, thanks for joining. They asked people if they wipe on from the toilet sitting down or standing up, and I didn't even know that there was a variation. I did not know that some people sit down and some people stand up. Like, that just blew my mind. But listen, we do what we're taught, right? We do what we're told. And in this society where it is heavily influenced through patriarchal concepts that really disconnect us from, like, it's not a clean slate. We are not coming into this world with a clean slate. We are coming into this world with a fixed agenda of an awareness. Like, you know, even like when I used to grow up, and it's like the idea of like success, not like super high-end success, but just like regular success. for a lot of people was like the white picket fence lifestyle. Go to school, go to college, buy a house, get married, have kids, which is one, heteronormative as fuck. Like, talk about compet, like for those of you who know about compet, talk about like not realistic in today's lifestyle. I don't know anybody that's like my age or younger that's even realistic for. Talk about why does that define success? You know what I mean? Like, what about that? So in the comments, we have living in alignment with my vision and purpose, which is so beautiful. And how do you define that in your life? This is what I want you to ask yourself. How do you define that in your life? What does living in alignment mean? Living in alignment with what? With your vision and purpose. What is your vision? What is your purpose? Right? And I don't think I'm asking these questions purposely to prod you guys, but I don't think we need to have an answer. Oh, my purpose is to. I don't believe that, first and foremost. I believe our purpose is an energy that we exist within, that when we are within that energy, we are living out our purpose. For example, having these kinds of conversations, it is totally within my purpose. Like when I'm having conversations that excite me, totally within my purpose. When I'm doing things that don't light me up or that don't feel good, probably not my purpose, right? But still within my purpose of being a human, potentially, right? We're here for all of it. But how do you decide that? Like, when do you reach that? Is that something that you have an understanding of that you can achieve in your everyday life? Other comment says peace, safety, health, joy, family, beloved, beautiful home and land is success. So these are like, so feeling at peace, feeling safe. I think safety is a very big one, especially in our current generation. Like, I mean, always, but with, I think that's why the white picket fence lifestyle was a dream for a lot of people, because it was it was like safe. They have a roof over their head. They have love, they have food. Yeah. Then the question is, what do we think we need to do in order to have that in our lives? And the follow-up being, and is that what you're actually doing? Is that what you're actually doing? We have energetic kind of relationships with success. You know, like I would have said something, and I mean, I'm still questioning. I don't have the perfect answer for you for what is success. I know that I'm figuring that out. I know I'm figuring out that success to me absolutely feels more like actually being present with my kids, like letting myself completely be a parent when I want to be a parent. Success feels like actually feeling abundant and grateful no matter what my external circumstances. Because, you know, I was in over 6 figures of debt when I started my business. I was living with my family because I couldn't afford a place to rent. I was eating their food because I couldn't afford food. Every dollar that I made, which was few and far between, was going off to pay off the increasing amounts of debt I had. Because for those of you who've gotten into debt, you'll know it's like you have like an amount of debt, and then the minute you don't have a handle on it, it's the interest and it's the extra fees, and it just perpetuates and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And so I didn't have a lot of kind of financial success in that sense, and like, or safety in that sense. I still had family to stay with, which was incredibly, you know, amazing. But in that phase is when the first time that I learned how to feel true gratitude and abundance for my situation. And I tell you what, I resisted that situation my whole life. I didn't want to be in that situation. And when things started going bad financially, I resisted even more. That's why I got so burned out, because I hustled harder than I ever thought. Like I would work till 1 or 2 in the morning, and I would be up at 5 because leaders have to be up at 5 a.m. And I would like push myself to that point until I got sick and I literally couldn't do anything anymore. I would like not let myself watch TV. I would like do all of these extremely harsh things because I thought they were the things that were going to help me become successful. But then when I finally got to this point, and this is where I talk about came from my abundance awakening, is that I finally started to feel abundance and gratitude for my situation. And then I started to make lots of money, right? And I started to make a little bit of money, and it was so exciting, and I felt so grateful, and I felt an overflow all of the time. And I just felt this, you know, this experience of safety when I was grocery shopping, and this experience of safety of like knowing that I could always afford a place to live, and all of these different things just started to feel so different in my environment. And then suddenly I was making so much money, but the people around me were making more money. So it didn't feel like enough anymore. And this is one of the biggest problems that I see within our industry of healers, coaches, guides, like a lot of this, like where we're selling services online and we're creating online businesses. I see this disconnection happening a lot. And not just for the people making money, not just for the people not making money, not just for the people making the highest amounts of money that we see. Like there's literally people having $1 million days, just a click of a button away on our phones. There's people that are just starting and haven't made any money yet. And there's people all in between, probably more. But I mean, I have a friend who has made $1 million in one day. How does, you know, 5-figure months compare when you have friends that make $1 million a day? You like when we are disconnected from our sense of worth and success, it doesn't feel like enough. And suddenly it's not enough. And suddenly we don't feel good about it anymore. And suddenly things like our mind goes from gratitude, trusting in our power, trusting in who we are, trusting in our nature, and it turns into, this isn't enough. There needs to be more. We've tied money and success so deeply, and we've also tied our worth on top of that. We're tangling these things up. A lot of us think that we are going to get peace, safety, health. We think we're going to find alignment through money. And money is a beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong. I fucking love money. I want lots of it and continue to have lots of it. And I love the experience of having a lot of overflow of finances in my life. And I'm not saying that that's not what we're allowed to have in our life. We absolutely are allowed to have that in our life. But when we're tying it to our worth, when we are tying it to how powerful we feel, how much we believe in our work, how much we believe in our abilities, that's when it's a fucking problem. And this is what we need to recalibrate from. We need to get out of this mindset that there always needs to be another level, that there always needs to be something else, that we need to compare ourselves on the scale of how much the people around us are making, and we feel safe and powerful around the people who are less than us in the sense of knowledge or money or material success or whatever it might be, but we feel less than around those that have more. In my mastermind currently, there's a few people who are just like, you know, they're still figuring out the making money part of their business. And there's some people who are making really, really good income. One of them is not worth more than the other. One of them isn't more powerful than the other. We have a different set of experiences that are like showing up in our external world, but it does not change your innate ability to be good at what you do. It does not change your innate ability to be worthy, be abundant, or be impactful for other people, be helpful for other people, to live your purpose. But when we get so caught up in this mindset that that's what that means, like this person earns more, so they are better at what they do. No. And I know a lot of us don't think that logically, but we feel it energetically and emotionally. You know what I mean? Like I can logically be like, oh yeah, this person's not better at their work, or they're not better at this, or they're, you know, whatever. Of course, like we're all worthy, we're all blah, 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 blah. But emotionally is where it impacts us. And this is why we need to ask these questions and start having these conversations, because it's almost like we hide these feelings and emotions underneath a layer of like this, it's like this disconnection between the brain and the heart. And we protect our heart by pretending we don't feel those things, even to ourselves, right? And so when we start to ask these questions and we start to see these things, we can actually start getting really, really honest about it. And this is where my wish is that you work on your ability to feel powerful. You work on your ability to feel worthy, impactful, at peace, connected with your family, connected with your loved ones, connected with your purpose, like feeling like you're having an impact through your purpose without needing it to compare to how anyone else is doing it, without needing external proof of those things. When we are building our businesses and we attach how powerful we are, our worth, any of those things to how much money we've made, to how much we charge, to how much we invest, we're in the wrong frequency. That is not where we're going to find our sense of success. When we attach it to our engagement, oh, this post went viral, this one didn't, nobody liked this, nobody commented. I did a question box in my stories and nobody responded. That's when we are tangling up, like we're tangling up all of these different scenarios that have nothing to do with one another. And we are robbing ourselves of truly the experience of feeling good about ourselves. We are robbing ourselves of the experience of truly being present in our life. We are robbing ourselves of the experience of truly being a light and a leader in a way without even trying, just because of our own light and love for ourselves. And this is like a total fuck the patriarchy moment, because it's like when we really love and can trust in ourselves without all of these external factors being the reason we feel the way that we do, we're rebelling against a system that says we're not good enough. We're rebelling against a system that says we need to have all of these things in line in order to be valued in society. Fuck that. Like, honestly, fuck that. And it's through a rebellion that we liberate others. Oh, you can tell I get passionate about this. So I want you to close your eyes with me for a minute. If you're, not in a place where you can sit down, lay down, whatever, and close your eyes, then you can listen in. You can listen in and see how it comes through for you. You can do this later, but regardless, listen. And I'm gonna speak some words and take these words in and either visualize, feel, sense, however it comes through for you, and just see what happens. So just deepening your breath a little bit. Feeling the rise and fall of your belly. I want you to feel into your heart and just the sensations around your heart. And I want you to imagine what love looks or feels like for you in an abstract way. So I want you to imagine a color or a shape or a sound or an essence or a feeling. In an abstract way, I want you to just pay attention to love and see if you can feel it. See how fully you can feel it. From your heart, I want you to imagine or sense or feel this energy moving through your body. It's spreading out from your heart and it's going everywhere. It's moving down your arms, into your hands, up your chest, your neck, to your head and your face. And it's moving its way down your torso, over your hips and your legs, and right down to the tips of your toes. You might even be able to feel the tingling sensation of it moving through your body. And you may feel extra sensation in the soles of your feet, the palms of your hands, and the tips of your head. I want you to imagine this light moving through the bottom of you and moving into the earth. Goes down, 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 and like a tree, it's building roots. It's building a root system that's creating strength and certainty and structure. Strength. It's creating a root system that reaches far and wide and really grounds you. And with an inhale, you're inhaling up this certainty, this groundedness energy back up through your body and bringing it to the top of your head, where the light then shines like a crown from the top of your head and reaches up, 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 up into the sky, moving further and further up, connecting you with your divine wisdom, connecting you with the pureness of your innate worth and abundance and all that your soul is in its most purest form. And as you inhale, that energy meets its way back down in your body. And I want you to imagine, again in an abstract way, without attaching anything material to it, but on an abstract level, I want you to feel the energy of abundance. What feeling, colors, lights, shapes, sensations come through for you? In an abstract way, I want you to imagine the sensations of connection. And in an abstract way, I want you to feel, sense, imagine the sensation of success. Feeling these sensations or imagining that they're swirling around you and within you, and however they're coming through for you. Know that these sensations are within you and they're accessible. You can repeat after me in your head or out loud. I am who I am, and it is what it is. I am what I am, and it is what it is. I am worthy. I am abundant. I know the sensation of success. I know how to experience it in my life. Now, within your field and in your imaginative mind, I want you to again sense or know or see or feel where there may be distortions around you and being able to truly experience it. Maybe you've already felt some resistance to feeling some of the things I've talked about. Maybe there are new things that are coming to mind now. But what sort of distortions stop you from fully trusting and experiencing in your everyday life this abundance, this success, and this connection, the sense of love and the sense of purpose? I'm going to do some clearing statements. You do not need to repeat these, but if you want to, feel free. Any way that you have tied your worth to money, clear, delete, destroy, and alchemize across all time, dimension, space, and reality. Any way that you're attaching your experience of feeling successful in your life with external experiences, please delete, destroy, remove, alchemize across all time, dimension, space, and reality. Any way that you do not trust in yourself or do not feel powerful and impactful in who you are or in what you do, clear, delete, remove, and alchemize across all time, dimension, space, and reality. Allow these spaces to be filled with their purest energy of love, of abundance, of connection, of inner trust and inner power. Allow anything that you need to be consciously aware of to work on to truly heal these patterns to come to mind now. And if they don't come to mind immediately, know that you'll become aware of them in the coming days as you continue to contemplate. Anything that does not need your conscious awareness is lifting and loosening its grip on you now. And you are more easily able to trust that you are safe, to come back home to your inner sense of calibration, to be in tune with the frequency of your version of success, your version of abundance, your version of purpose, and your version of power. Deepening your breath. Maybe wiggling your fingers and toes as you bring yourself back to the present moment. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. If there's something that you wanted to write down, feel free to write it down. If you want to share in the comments, please feel free to how that experience was for you. If something came up for you that felt profound, or if you feel any sensations that you want to share, please do so. I'd be more than happy to hear. But ultimately, this is a call. This is a call to those of you that registered, because you are the ones that are going to help shift this narrative. You are the ones that are going to help heal these things. You are the ones that are going to be part of the healing and the recalibration. But I want you to be so mindful. This is a call to be so mindful of where you're putting your experience of success, what's truly going to make you happy in your life, on a pedestal, where you're creating a narrative that it is when you have X, Y, Z, then you'll finally feel, when you're looking at how other people are doing it and deciding that's how or when you'll finally be able to feel it. And then under this umbrella of success, being mindful where you are creating ideas of success and worth around money, whether that be in what you invest, what you make, what you charge, how you spend, how you interact with money in your day-to-day life, and how that then ties into your own sense of power or good enoughness or the impact that you can make, because there is no external thing that is going to shift the fact that you are fucking awesome and powerful and amazing, and you deserve to be loved and celebrated, and you deserve to love and celebrate yourself. I did a post yesterday and I said, like, my wish is that those that have made millions can truly just enjoy the fact that that's what they've done without this nagging feeling there needs to be more so they can keep up the appearances. My wish is for those that are still in creation of all the things that they desire, that they don't feel that they have to compare or meet up with anybody else's expectation. And what I understand, both from the years that I've been doing this, from the continual downloads I receive around the abundance vortex, around the unique success blueprint, around our truest sense of abundance and success, is that when we finally can allow ourselves to be in a space of acceptance, of love, of reveling in where we are, of trusting what is when abundance just so naturally flows into our lives. My biggest fear used to be that if I truly just, trusted and I celebrated myself where I was and I felt so good about myself where I was, that I would be somehow cutting myself off from more, being naive to more, or not allowing more to come into my life when I wanted more. But the truth is that this constant idea that there needed to be more was robbing me from ever experiencing anything, no matter how much it was in my own life, and truly experiencing myself in my fullest essence. And so when we get to this point where this idea of having more in our lives is inevitable, because we know there's always going to be more, right? It's like the analogy, I think I talked about this in my podcast that I released yesterday, but it's like we can eat a delicious meal and know there's going to be more delicious food to enter our lives. Like, it's inevitable. We are beings designed to continue eating in our lives, just like we are beings designed to continue to grow and have new experiences in our lives. It's inevitable that you're going to continue to experience more in your life. But it's also completely irrelevant to you being able to enjoy where you are now. You're not going to enjoy a meal just because you know there's more meals to come. You can enjoy every single bite of the meal you're eating, the most delicious meal that it is. Some meals are filler meals, but still, we can also be present with those and enjoy them. How can you, ask yourself, how can you allow yourself to recalibrate? How can you shift things in your life? Like, maybe it's just an awareness for you. Maybe you're changing things in your business and in your life. Like, I've decided to change my pay structure. I've decided that, I'll change this if I ever want to, but for now, what feels really right for me is I have a sliding scale for all of my offers, for, a sliding scale that feels really great for me, and feels really connected with my purpose of who I'm here to help. And I've been really detaching from the stories of this is how much you charge, and this, validates how long you've been doing it, and this validates how good you are, and this validates all these different things. No, money will not validate me. No, I refuse. I just recently did the Pay What You Want mastermind. That was incredible. I think I'm going to do it again in maybe a couple months. I'm not 100% sure, but I really, really liked it. And that was just, the shifts that people have had in there have been so beautiful. The way people have shifted their own business through the experience of being a part of something like that has been really beautiful to watch. I'm paying so much more attention to where the concept of hierarchy is impacting my potential experience, my potential growth, my potential connection and love that I have for people. So I'm being really aware, like maybe a past client is hosting something or has a program that maybe in the past I wouldn't have looked at because, you know, I was their coach. So, you know, why would I let them be my coach? Not that I ever thought that consciously, but I think subconsciously I thought that in some cases. I'm paying attention. I'm like, if I like it, I trust these people. Like we don't learn in a hierarchical sense. I don't believe we're impacting each other in a hierarchical sense. We're this ever moving mandala of magical energy continually moving in and out of each other and like impacting each other in beautiful ways. You felt a shift, a flicker, have to explore it. You're so welcome. Yeah. The biggest thing, and this is like one of the things that I will start to finish off with. If there's any questions, you can feel free to put them in the comments. But thank you for letting me share what was on my heart with you, and thank you for feeling it too, and thank you for being here. But oh man, what was I gonna say? Shit. Oh, that's right. The space between is a very uncomfortable space. You know, the space between figuring things out. Like I would say I felt in the most uncomfortable space the past year when I could feel there was a shift and I could feel there was new things that I was wanting to see, but I couldn't quite see them. You know, like I couldn't fully get it. I couldn't fully conceptualize it. And it is such an uncomfortable feeling. And I know there's a lot of people in my world that are going through shift right now. And it's okay if it feels really, really uncomfortable. I'm gonna say that. Like if it feels uncomfortable, if it doesn't make sense, not everything needs to make sense right away, but trust that as you continue to contemplate, as you continue to play with what's coming through and continue to focus on these things in your life, it is going to shift, and then suddenly it's going to make so much fucking sense, and you'll be like, oh, what did I ever worry about? Which I'm sure you know, but I just wanted to reiterate because sometimes when we're in it, it's easy to forget. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your essence and your energy, both live and on the replay. And if there's no more questions, I'll finish off. All right. Bye. Thank you.